All right, that was funny. I don't know why I did that. But anyway, good morning, beautiful person. I'm so happy to see you again. My name's Hadassah Vietar. I'm a life coach and a wellness advocate. And I'm here to talk with you about something I heard this morning, which meant that I really had to do this video. I was actually planning to wait until I got home, but you know what, it's that kind of day, and I have these thoughts on my heart, so I need to get them out. So I hope they will be of interest to you. So, what is the opposite of addiction? Okay, that is kind of a deep question for, 20 to 10 on a Friday morning. But I've been listening to Mel Robbins. If you follow me for a while, then you know that I like to listen to audiobooks when I'm outside walking or running. And so I was listening to Mel Robbins. It's an Audible original, so you can only listen to it. You can't read it. It's all good. And it's called Work It Out. And she's talking with several women. She's coaching them. These are people who have issues at work. It's specific for work, but obviously work and life are not actually separate. Such an industrial model. And so any issue that you have at work, you're going to have in your life. That's just how it is. So it's useful whether you are somebody who has a workplace or not. And it's especially interesting right now because the world is emerging from a time where those of us who are privileged enough to be able to stay home, unlike essential workers who had to go regardless of what's going on, grocery workers, healthcare workers, transit drivers, people like that, I salute you. And so those of us who were privileged enough to stay home, if you're lucky like me and you had a bunch of people who live in your house, then you're not alone. A lot of people are actually alone. And unfortunately, some people were locked in a house with an abuser, and that is terrible. Thank God that's ending. But definitely isolation was an issue because the fact remains is that no matter how good your technology is, it's just not the same as talking with a real human. And it's kind of interesting because I was listening to Mel Robbins' book, which of course is older than this situation. She was talking at a time when people weren't, locked in their houses and isolated. So I would say that the issue has only been exacerbated since she recorded this book. So she was talking about workaholism. She's been coaching a young woman who overloaded her life with work so that she would feel appreciated and loved by people at work. And but she was destroying her marriage because she wasn't making any time to connect with her husband, who was actually very dear and important to her. So she decided to take action and make changes because she did want to change what was going on. But sometimes people use workaholism because they actually don't want to be in the relationships that they're in, and it's a way to hide. That's a whole different question. In her case, she did want the relationship with her husband, so she needed to deal with the workaholism so she would have room for him and for herself in her life. So while talking about this, Mel mentioned a quote from a guy called Johann Hari. He has a TED Talk, which I clearly have to go and watch. I haven't yet, but I just wanted to do this. And this quote is that the opposite of addiction is not sobriety, which is what a lot of people think, but it's human connection, which I thought was so super interesting, and I think a lot of other people do. But why do people become addicted to things? And I'm not even talking about, it doesn't matter actually if it's alcohol or drugs or food or shopping or sex or pornography or work. It's much more acceptable, of course, to be addicted to work socially. But the fact remains, it's the same thing. It's an addiction. And why do we become addicted to things? Is because we're using them to numb out the pain of something. And very often that pain is not being enough. Or feeling that you're not enough, I should say. Whether you actually are or aren't enough is kind of irrelevant to the whole process. Chances are you are enough. Most people are. But you think you aren't for whatever reason based in your childhood. And whoops, my phone's about to die, so I'd better finish this quickly. But the point of the addiction is to numb pain. And the solution is not to just, sobriety is part of it, obviously. Setting boundaries in work is the workaholic equivalent of sobriety. But you have to connect with other humans is the way to learn how to be enough. So, I need to finish this up before my phone dies. So very quickly, I have been doing a lot of research on this, and I've got a few resources that might be helpful if you wanted to get them. So if you wanted a link or two to the things that I've been researching, drop me a message and I'll get them to you, because this is important stuff. So have a great day. Have a great weekend. Remember, I love you. Talk to you again soon. Bye.